We hebben hier bij ons Jürgen Brüning. Heeft zojuist een film voorgesteld, Krappie, in het filmhuis Breda. En we zijn heel blij dat we hem hier mogen hebben voor een interview. So Jürgen, your movie is full of video clips, singing actors, promotion clips. What do you want to say with your film? What's the background and how did you come to the idea for to make such a original film?
Um, so I made the film, I think, as an homage to my performers who I worked with in all these films in the last 30 years, So, and it was kind of, as you see in the film, I have a heart operation. And after the heart operation, I thought I would like to do a film about myself and what I have done. So I started filming the scenes in the public toilet in 2006. And I asked the performers I have worked with to be in the film, but not having sex, but for example, singing. And I think, for me, was very important that the porn performers I worked with, that there are individual human beings, and I wanted to present them like this, that they are treated with respect too, and I try to always treat them with respect in the work I did with them, and this I wanted to show in the film. And also, I thought I want to do a funny film. And, all these clips I used, I grew up with, like the Africola clip I saw in the 60s. And then there's this black and white clip from this German science fiction series called Raumpatrouille Orion. And I remembered that there's one episode where, the astronauts land on a planet called Coma, where the women rule. And, this was shot in 1965. And I liked very much the idea that, in 1965, that some scriptwriter had the idea to invent this story. And I thought it really works for me because, I hate, or I would say, a problem we have is our patriarchal society, and about power relationship, who has the power, who has not the power. And I wanted to, you know, have a discourse about this.
All right, you are also the producer of Bruce Lee Bruce. And you said when you watch a film of Bruce La Bruce, it's not a porn film, but it's a movie with explicit scenes. What's the difference between a film of Bruce La Bruce and a porn film?
What's the difference? You know, normally Bruce's films are more funny than porn films. So, no, for example, what happened is, when I started working with Bruce in the beginning of the 90s, he wanted to have a sex scene in his film. And, normally it has changed over the years, but normally when people in a film have sex, they do it in the bed, and then there's a cover on top of it so that you don't see any genitals or whatever, no penetration. And with Bruce, I discussed, how explicit, how much do you want to show? And he said he wants to show everything. And then I said, okay, then we have to shoot everything. But then in the editing, you decide how much of this explicit footage is necessary to transfer your narrative, your story, So, and the difference between a film by Bruce or other filmmakers with explicit scenes is that in porn, you have this kind of rule that the narration of the whatever story you tell in your porn film is interrupted by a sex scene, but the sex scene has to be like 15 minutes, so that people can have fun and jerk off or get excited. And to interrupt like uh, a film with a story for 15 minutes would totally break your story. So in a porn film, you have always situations which lead that people have sexual encounters, So this is how the narration goes. A person comes in and then, they end up in the bedroom or they end up in the bathroom having sex or whatever, for whatever reason. In let's say, a narrative feature film, when you would have like really a sex scene of 20 minutes, already people have forgotten the whole story you have told before. So what we do, or what we did, is that we said, okay, how much is really necessary that you think this works with your story? And in Bruce's film, a sex scene, even explicit sex scene, is like a minute or two and not more, So, and that's, I would say, is the main difference. And also, when it comes to the term pornography, it has a negative connotation, and people think, oh, these are bad films. So that's also when I, in the beginning, argued, when people said Bruce's films are porn films. No, they are not. And I even would say, even like what you would call porn films, I wouldn't call porn films. They are films where you have sex scene in it. So, and what's the problem with watching people having sex with each other? Okay, there is an age limit. I would say, everybody over 18 can decide for themselves what they want to watch, So, and seeing a film with sex is, for me, not a big thing.
Do you work with real porn actors or actors who act in a normal film with explicit scenes?
Um, you know, when you use normal films, it's already, a porn film is also a normal film. No, when you shoot a film and um, want to have an explicit sex scene, you have to talk, of course, to the actors what they want to do. You have to tell them what your ideas, and then you have to discuss with your actors if they want to do this or not, and what are their borders. And so, but most mainstream actors don't want to do explicit scenes because it puts them in a certain kind of corner. So what we did is, in Bruce's films, we asked, and because I did gay pornography, so I know people who perform in porn, so I asked them if they would act in Bruce's films, because it's also not only if they want to, but guys have to get a hard on, and and people who have done porn before, they know what you would expect, and for them it's not this big thing because this is a job they are doing. It's their job. So, and for example, the Lars von Trier film. What he did is, the roles are played by famous actors, but when it comes to explicit scenes, he uses body doubles of professional porn actors. But what I hate is, for example, they're doing a great job, which the other actors don't want to do, but then they're not even mentioned in the credits with their names, and it only says, okay, the sex scenes were body double by porn actors, which is totally disrespectful to these people, because they're doing their professional job and helping that Mr. A director can do what he wants to do, so, and therefore, I was very mad about this when I read this, and that even the actresses in the film said, no, we would never do this because this is, from a very moralistic point of view, this is dirty or so, so this gets me mad.
Do you have a message for the whole world? How is it with the sex revolution now? Is it going well, or is there still work on it?
I think sex is overrated. That's my message to the world.